The committee will now proceed with today's hearing. I thank the Honorable Joe Cuffari for joining us today. Let me introduce him. Before I introduce Mr. Cuffari, for the record, without objection, Representative Crane of Arizona is waived onto the subcommittee for the purpose of questioning the witnesses at today's subcommittee hearing. Without objection. Introducing our witness today, Joseph V. Cuffari was confirmed by the United States Senate as the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General on July 25, 2019. Dr. Cuffari previously served as a policy advisor for Military and Veterans Affairs for Governor Doug Ducey of Arizona and previously for Governor Jan Brewer. He served more than 40 years in the United States Air Force on active duty in the reserves and in the Arizona National Guard. He began his military service after graduating from high school and enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1977. He served in a variety of leadership positions with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, as well as with the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General. He was a commander in the Air Force Office of Inspector Commanders with MacDill Air Force Base in Florida, England Air Force Base in Louisiana, Naples, Italy, and with North Atlantic Treaty Organization. In 1989, he received the AFOSI Outstanding Officer of the Year Award. He also served for more than 20 years in the Department of Justice in a multitude of roles dating back to 1993. In 2013, he retired from his position as Assistant Special Agent in charge for the Office of the Inspector General in Tucson, Arizona. In other capacities, he has augmented the United States Senate and the House Intelligence Committee and the DOJ Office of Overseas Prosecutorial Development. Dr. Cuffari earned a Ph.D. in Management in 2002, an M.A. in Management in 1995, and a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Management Information Systems in 1984. And today he sits before us. I welcome Inspector General Cuffari to testify before us today. Pursuant to Committee Rule 9G, the witness will please stand and raise his right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Let the record show that the witness answered in the affirmative. Thank you. You may take your seat. Inspector General Cuffari. I recognize the Inspector General for 5 minutes to summarize his opening statement.
Thank you, Chairman Higgins, Ranking Member Lee, and Ranking Member Garcia. Members of the subcommittee, thank you for inviting me here today to discuss my office's recent audit report entitled ICE Cannot Effectively Monitor the Locations and Status of All Unaccompanied Alien Children After Federal Custody. DHS plays a critical role in administering and enforcing our national immigration laws. Among the most vulnerable populations DHS encounters are unaccompanied alien children, referred to as UACs. A UAC is a person as to when they entered the country and were encountered by DHS. They have no lawful immigration status in the United States. They have not attained 18 years of age and has no parent or legal guardian in the country available to provide care and physical custody. Each year, thousands of UACs have entered the United States and are placed into federal custody. Federal government has a responsibility not just for enforcing immigration laws, but for ensuring the safety and welfare of these at-risk children. While ICE's immigration enforcement priorities typically weigh the risk an alien poses to the public, but with UACs, the agency must also ensure a vulnerable child does not become the victim of trafficking or otherwise exploitation. Our audit revealed significant gaps in how ICE monitors and manages the cases of UACs once they're released from federal custody. The lack of reliable location data, persistent delays in issuing notices to appear, and limited interagency cooperation has led to potentially tens of thousands of children effectively disappearing from DHS's oversight. This is not simply an administrative or paperwork shortcoming. It's a systemic breakdown that carries real risk to the children themselves, to the integrity of the immigration system, and to the public trust in our immigration system and law enforcement institutions. In 2023, my office initiated this audit after two key events. The first was a change in a 2021 Memorandum of Agreement between DHS and the Department of Health and Human Services. Specifically, the parties removed the requirement for HHS Office of Refugee Resettlement to provide ICE with biographic and biometric information and all potential sponsors and adult members of that household, which were then used for vetting. The second was significant media reporting involving UACs, which were potentially in dangerous conditions following their placement into a sponsor's care by HHS. Early into the audit, it became clear that the uncertainty surrounding the whereabouts of such a large number of UACs warranted a management alert to flag this matter for the Department of Homeland Security as well as Congress, and we issued that in August 2024. In our final report, which was published in March of this year, my team found that between fiscal years 2019 and 23, ICE did not effectively monitor the location and status of all UACs once released or transferred to HHS custody. In that time, ICE transferred more than 448,000 UACs to HHS, most of whom were released to sponsors. Of that population, ICE did not issue more than 233,000 notices to appear to the UACs to generate an assignment in their immigration court. Our auditors discovered that more than 31,000 releases, addresses of sponsors were blank, undeliverable, or missing apartment numbers. We also learned more than 43,000 UACs who were served with notices to appear failed to actually appear for their scheduled court date. As I stated at the beginning of my testimony, ICE's posture for monitoring UACs was insufficient. The shortcomings leave children vulnerable to exploitation, trafficking, forced labor, or involvement in criminal activities. Without sustained data sharing coordination at the federal level and staffing and overall policy guidance to DHS, they will not be able to guarantee that UACs are safeguarded from harm while in the United States. We made 6 recommendations to improve ICE's monitoring, all of which they accepted. In closing, thank you for the opportunity to testify. I look forward to answering your questions.